All right, guys, here at Nationals with my boy Dylan, my teammate. We both got top 8, but he played
Gogeta Xeno.
And we ended up with a wonderful Gogeta prize card, as you see here.
So, this leader, probably the best aggro leader in the meta. On swing, you can draw a card and take a life. You can draw the card first to see if you like it, if you want to take the life. Activate main, you can warp up to the top 5 cards of your deck, so you can just warp 1 or 2. 4 life or less, you awaken, untap 1, draw 1.
Plus.
On swing, you draw a card. Same ability when you Unit Fusion, you draw a card. So you can do it on this side, flip, and then do it again and draw another card. Same thing, you can warp up to the top 5, but he has to do it on swing. And once per turn, you can take a life and add 10k to 2 of your 1 drops. Very good when you're pushing for game.
Broken.
Yep. So I guess I'll start out with the Gogeta package of the deck. These are your Union Fusions. Okay. The reason for the 3 of on this one is because you can't play till your opponent has 2 energy. So if you're going first, you can't play till your turn 3. It has barrier, so it gets around a lot of counterplays. And activate main when it's on board, you can put it at the bottom of your deck and play 2 1-drops from your drop or warp. Very good because a lot of times you run low on deck. So I almost decked out a few times and just kept bottom decking these so that I could live. This one, he can warp a 4 or less when he comes into play. The big thing is it can ignore barrier. So cards like Poutine in the format, I kept clearing them.
It does clear my Poutine.
Yep, very useful.
At a cost.
And it has blocker. So there were games where I literally just played 3 of these to wall up on defense. 4, Gogeta Thwarting the Dark Empire, probably the best black card in the game, period. It's a 1-drop 25k double strike for the Union Fusion. And when you swing, you just warp a battle card.
And to note, like every time you Union Fuse, he already stated earlier, but you get a draw. So these on turn 1 cycle themselves basically. They
right.
They don't lose card advantage.
So you just play this, you have a 25k double strike, and you draw a card.
That part's insane. The fact that you don't lose a card out of hand to do a 25k double striker.
It's absolutely busted. So to fuse into these guys, you need Gogeta and Vegeta and Goku Xenos that are the same power level. So these are the splits we play. This guy's unique double strike. He's one of the better ones, but I don't know why a lot of people don't play him. When your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, he gets plus 10 power to the end of your next turn. And it stacks. So sometimes they add on your turn, they add on their turn, and he ends up being like a 35 double strike.
That happened to me, but I ended up clearing him just by Trunks Unison. But
yeah, he's easy to clear, but he gets real pesky if you don't deal with him right away.
Yeah, I agree.
This one, he's deflect. When you swing, you can take a life, and he becomes a 15k. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a counter, they warp a card from their hand. So a lot of times when my opponent's going to counter, I just stick 2 of these on board. I let them do the counter and just go neg in hand. This guy, he's basically a 15k attacker in this deck. He's deflect. When he swings, he becomes a 15k if you take a life. But if your opponent untaps with a non-awakened keyword skill once per turn, they warp a card from their hand. So against blue, he's the play. Because if they send 2 being, they soul strike your leader, swing, untap 2, they warp a card. And then the super combo. It's your super combo for the deck, and it also counts for your Unit Fusion. So
bottom deck,
double good.
Draw 2.
Right.
Super good.
These Trunks Overwhelms,
this is the craziest part to me.
Super free. It's just a 15k body for 3, but if it goes to your warp from your field or from your deck, it goes to your hand. So you can literally just have your leader warp 4 off the top, and they all go to hand. So it's just super plus, and you want to Overwhelm every turn. So the fact that at the end of the turn this goes back to your hand, it guarantees that you have an Overwhelm for the next turn. Even if it's not the most powerful Overwhelm you play, the fact that you fix your pieces is super important. So this was one of the decisions that I changed.
Part of me.
A lot of people like Mirror Unison or Pycon. I went with Black Smoke. The reason is this Kai can put itself to the bottom from your warp. So you put this to the bottom of your deck from your warp, and you play this for free. His ability, he goes neg 1, so you're never gonna. He can't attack. You just neg 1 him, put him in the drop. Your opponent warps a battle card from their drop area, and then you search your deck for 2 Dark Dragon Balls, which we don't run. We just shuffle our deck and draw. But a lot of the times you get these into your warp, and you can loop this every turn. So you're drawing from lead swing, you're drawing from your Union Fusion, and then you're drawing from smoke. So you're drawing 3 a turn. And I can't tell you how many times this weekend I did it in Top Cut multiple times. You could choose how many you want to reveal, and you can do one at a time for the leader. There were a ton of times, even when I played Andrew, I go, okay, let me check top. Kai, do smoke, and then I kept doing it over and over. I kept getting lucky and hitting the one up right off the top. So if you see the card you want, you could just stop milling.
Yeah, you don't have to do the full 5 each time.
Right. 2 Metrification main board. It's really good in the mirror. It's really good against Sin, which is a bad matchup. So like if they swing with their thwarting and you Petrification it and negate it, the auto to warp your battle card doesn't trigger. Yep. So same with the double strike guy, you negate him, they can't bottom deck and play 2 1-drops. Sin Shenron plays the 9-drop that really gives you problems. This negates its skills and then you just go around it and kill him. So
it's a good card.
This card is good against a ton of decks in the format. You can board it out if you don't need it, and we were going to put in another one if we do. 1 Hidden Power East Supreme Kai, they give double strike. You got to play this in any aggro deck. The amount, some people play more.
I think every deck plays at least one form of Chopper.
Yeah, you can't play 0. You need to have that kill potential. 1 Secret Identity Mass Sand. A lot of decks are playing a lot of wide board and small weenies. So this guy, when you Overwhelm for him, he can warp battle cards that add up to a cost of 6.
Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny. I forgot to say it on this video. He was helping me tweak some of the numbers, so Johnny was a big help. And Juha helped me out with the Jira matchup, which I actually did play. SS4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits, we played 2. You can add any black battle card with a cost between 3 and 7 from your warp to your hand. So if we need Sacred Identity, we grab it. If we need Thwarting, we grab it. If we need the guy to hit Barrier, we grab it. This is a big body, and it's also a 2. This card was the best card I put in last minute. It won me a ton of games. When you Overwhelm for it, your opponent can only attack with a battle card once.
Shout out to Johnny again, basically.
Yeah, me and Johnny were teching, and he liked these as well. Especially in the new time rules. Because in the new time rules, the first tiebreaker is who has the most life. So you do this, and you put up some blockers and some negates, and they literally can't deal a damage to you, and then you win on time.
It's like Nimbus.
Unfortunately, I had to win that way twice. Supreme Kai Time Negate. Negates the attack. You can warp one of your opponent's battle cards, and then it just sits on board as a 5k combo power. So in an ideal situation, it stops 3 attacks. You negate, you warp a battle card that could also be a potential attacker, and then you combo it on defense. And it's very good. There were times I liked it against Icarus because what I did to Andrew a few times was he swung and I negated and warped the higher dragon so he couldn't combo it. And then you have this as a combo piece. It's utility against a ton of matchups.
And you can recycle it with the SS4?
You can grab it back with SS4, yeah. Super Kamehameha, any black aggro deck, you have to play this. Floodgate negates give us a problem. If your life's 4 or less, you can pay 1 energy or take 1 life, and then counterplay a 3-drop or less, it doesn't come into play.
Yep.
Stops all the abilities.
It can stop the next card you're about to show.
Yeah, it can stop this if it reduces cost to a 0.
That is actually insane to me.
This is probably the most popular SCR going forward, unless something drastic happens. Counterattack, you have to have 3 energy, but it reduces cost by 2 for every battle card in play on both sides of the board, yours and your opponent's.
And you can play it offensively.
You can play it on your turn as well for 0. And most of the time it's a 0 cost. Battle cards are always on board in this format. And then it has the other ability, you could pay 1 and steal a battle card. Super useful.
I saw somebody Thornton.
Yeah, all I did, so it did help me against Andrew. He 3 turns in a row played the Gogeta Unison where you can't swing with battle cards greater than energy. And I stole he did repost to negate, and then I stole his repost and attacked the Vegeta Unison. But I still didn't win the matchup, but it was useful. Sideboard, I'll do this one last because it's the worst card. 1 more Petrification. There's some matchups where you want another one. 2 max power. I don't like playing against Sin. I almost played Sin.
That's a good card, bro.
Yeah, you warp a card greater than your opponent's energy, you negate an attack. It actually helped me against some hand destruction too. You negate the attack, you can warp 4 and add it back to your hand. 2 Protector of the People. It's for any other aggro matchup, including the mirror. You negate, you pitch a card, and then whenever they swing at your leader with a battle card, you plus 5k. And it stacks, it keeps going. If
nice.
I didn't make it clear that I don't like the Sin matchup, I put in 4 Demigra Heavenly Wizard. When you swing, if your opponent's 3 3 energy or less. You choose one of their battle cards with 30k power or more, ignoring barrier, and KO it.
Yeah, this is spice.
Yeah, so they play the 9-drop, and it's extremely hard to deal with, but what you do is you swing with lead, combo this, pop it, they're going to be tapped out on 2, and then you kill them. 3 Koitsukai, mainly for yellow. Yellow plays a lot of guys 20k power or less.
Just for riposte.
Riposte and the Goku.
Yeah.
So you pay 1, send it from, remove from the game from drop. You can bottom deck up to 2 cards from your hand and draw that many cards, so you can fix your hand if your hand's bad. But it's mainly for yellow. Any other deck you think will spam out stuff on your turn. Cooler as well. That's why I bumped it to 3.
Yes, for cooler.
Because all their stuff arrivals on your turn. So Cooler's a bad matchup. 3 Koitsukai helps.
It's a blowout card.
Another secret identity. It's an easy sideboard for the Bardock. So sometimes you play something that's not aggro and you don't need this. So putting this in for one of them is just a real easy side. If you're not playing something you're worried about killing you.
And a card you shouldn't play?
This is the worst card. So the entire list felt perfect. I literally don't feel like this Gogeta Xeno list would have been any better if I changed any cards. Except this. This was trash all weekend. I never sided it in. I never needed it. I never almost needed it. Yeah, I just wish this could have been anything else. It could have been a 1-drop skillless.
You hear that from Dylan?
The only reason I had it in there was for Hatch. So you could have an 8-drop that could swing multiple times. But the problem is, it's a 2-of, and then Hatch just probably beat you anyway, because they also play this card, and then they have better cards that revolve around their leader. So this card was absolutely useless. Put something else in for there. But everything else about the deck was great. If I played better, I could have gone farther potentially.
Same. I should have been top 4 at minimum.
Yeah, but shout out to Andrew. He was my only loss both days. I lost 1 game in Swiss to Andrew, and then I lost in Top Cut to Andrew. So he's a great player. They're still playing.
He's in finals right now.
Yeah, if he wins, he deserves it. Great player. Beat me. But deck's very good. Subscribe to Chase channel and eat Bojangles.
Thank you, Dylan, for the profile. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.